Hello everyone. I am I'm happy that you all have made it. Now, right now you are in my presence. You may see some of the players as they're getting ready here, and in fact, because I am a pro, I need to drop a reference for Clyde. Yeah, there we go. All right. Hail, hail. The gang's all here. It is another Tuesday, another day of role play. It is great to have you here um, at all, let alone if this is a departure from the norm for you. Many of us may have met through other role playing games. You might have seen the presentations of Alien RPG, Cyberpunk Red, or you've been around since the beginning and you saw the epic 4-year long D&D campaign Chroma Company that was run as well. Um, and if this is a new experience for you, then I welcome it, and I welcome you to it. It is great that you want to step up and try something new, or if you've been playing forever and even a day, that this might be a fun challenge as well, in that you can see how the game might be run differently from yours, or in a different location than what you're used to. So old timer or a newcomer, I hope that you'll enjoy tonight's show of Such Heights to Show You, which is going to be session 2 of 3 for our Red Deemer, the Red Deemer story. Guess if it was a couple stories strung together, we'd call it a chronicle. I could call it a chronicle, but in D&D, it's kind of like saying my one-shot adventures is I'm having a campaign on Saturday night. Are you? Welcome everyone. Remember, this is going to be presented in a similar fashion to an R-rated movie. So the language and material that will come up, the descriptions and whatnot, will be more mature than what you're used to with the normal PG-13 style rating. As Vampire is a game of personal and political horror, I will be delving into that along with the help of our players, and we have a support staff as well. I'm going to start with Coffee behind the scenes here. Coffee Cat Presents, who is my co-ST storyteller.
Hello.
And Coffee is going to help make sure that, as a more seasoned ST than I am, that I don't end up jumping the shark or make a horrid call on something. I want to present horror. I do not wish to be the horror myself. So Coffee's working in the background and will be helping to advise and adjust things as necessary. And so is here very much in spirit. Then let's go down the. You know what? I think last time we went just right down the line this way. We did go from the high clan down to the low clan. You know what, Wade? The Nos need a little bit of love. So let's say hi to. Wait a minute. Where did he go? Wait.
Cronin hasn't gone anywhere, fool. You just ain't looking hard enough.
Oh no. If that isn't a good introduction to the Nosferatu, I don't know what is. If I can get a shout out to Dark Druid Productions as well. Now you are also a seasoned storyteller. This ain't your first vampiric rodeo.
Our vampiric rodeo is Dark Druid Productions, right here on Twitch and on Discord and everywhere else. Some of you know me as Sylvanov, some of you know me as the Dark Druid, some of you know me as Dave. Hey, but man, last week was fun. I am on my tippy toes and cannot wait to see what unfolds this evening.
I hope to challenge and excite you, even as a veteran of the system and the setting. I look forward to it. Now let's continue to our. You know, the poor Malkavians are kind of that middle child. You know, They are often like, you're so close to being a high clan, but if it wasn't for literally everything else. But I digress. uh,
Hey, thanks.
you're very welcome, Ivy. Hi, and also hi, Raven,
Hi.
who also broadcasts. I hope that you're well. Do you have any words of wisdom, or do you want to give yourself a little bit of a hey? This is what I generally do while we're in our lobby and we're meeting and we're talking, we're getting warmed up, we're getting the jitters out.
Yeah, outside of you guys seeing me float around Maddie's chat as the one of the biggest pains in his ass as a mod, I do broadcast myself. I do mostly gaming, and this week we're working on some photos from the recent Sandusky trip.
I saw some of those and they're looking crisp.
So hoping to get the mini ones done tomorrow, if not Friday. It depends on where my hyper focus decides to go.
Now let's continue moving along the line. Next, we have Spectre Deflector, who is piloting, driving, compelling Clyde. Hi, Spectre. What's going on?
Hello, I'm playing Clyde McCoy, the Toreador. Yeah, typically I intended for Clyde to be a getaway driver, but he might just be driving us into the trouble. Yeah, hello, my name is Spectre Deflector as well, and I am just a community illustrator, and I also play a lot of tabletop games with the community by large. You might find me on Macabre Derek's channel as well as Coffee Cat Presents channel on the rare occasion. Mostly Coffee Cat Presents.
And I'm very happy that you have been a part of the community and that I have been receiving your illustrative services because you do an excellent job. And that will continue into the future. At least I hope so. And then, even speaking of a fellow artist here who has also provided for the channel, including, for if any of you saw the sweet Rabies Bay bottle of barbecue sauce that was, hashtag not sponsored, everyone. That was featured in last week's session. We have Dark Wolf here playing Cheryl. Now, I'm sorry, the sheer audacity of having the Ventru go last, but you know what? In this case, that just means that you get to start us off by going last. So, what's going on with you, Dark Wolf, aka Cheryl?
Hi, I'm Dark Wolf. People on the channel also know me as a Woo. Not much has been going on. I've been pretty busy. I'm planning to stream eventually. I just got a PlayStation 5, in fact. So maybe we'll be streaming PlayStation 5 games in the future. Other than that, I'm playing Cheryl, who is no nonsense, efficient, getting things done, and silently insulting her coterie members by writing notes about them.
Yes, if only you knew out there in chat. But maybe one day such things will be revealed. Possibly even by Cheryl herself out loud. But until then, the notebook. By the way, Cheryl, I must say thank you for assisting me in the workshop last week when we were going over the rules of the game. You did a fantastic job also getting out of the way of Clyde's car, though I'm sorry for the dog poop, and I will not elaborate further. Hey, let's start playing our game, and
I had nothing to do with it.
Welcome. No, I mean, wait, the resemblance aside, you actually had nothing to do with with that rules interaction. We were talking about success at a cost. So, everyone, I want to welcome you to Cleveland, Ohio. It is a place that is in Ohio named Cleveland. It might be a big city on a major, on one of the 5 Great Lakes, and have, the largest city. And well, you have details. Who cares? We're here for vampires, not those stupid living people. We're surrounded by those. Gross. 2 out of 10 would not recommend. So you all are guests of Prince Amias Bradstreet. Though for those of you in the audience, it's probably best not to make yourselves too well known. Though, depending, as there are those of you who do lurk. And this is a game of influence from the shadows. So there is a fickle god's favor that only a certain number of you may wish to bestow upon the characters tonight. By doing so, and by the way, I'm a character as well, and how. You may direct your fickle god's favor to a specific character, a player or character, or me. And I will also claim any generic ones, like +1 to the one who needs it. I need it the most. Have you seen in any RPG what the players do to it? They overcome the bad guys, they solve the mystery. Terrible. I need all the help I can get. So if you do want to, work from the shadows, you may be a fickle god with channel points, or if any of you are so inclined, there are certainly a trade of favors that might be arranged, such as the life of a vampire, or the unlife, as it were. But yes, welcome to Cleveland. This is where our story's taking place. We are in mid-July. I want to say it's about the 17th. Oh, shoot, I should have written that down. It's about July 17th, I'd say. That's about mid, right? 30-ish days. And, well, as everyone had woken up and they got a summons, went down into the salt mines of Cleveland here, and as you imagine, in the world of darkness, not everything is as it seems. For as much as a lake ship like this is a fairly common sight, especially around a big city that hulls salt and iron and coal and all kinds of things that are either ore or not ore, they discovered that, well, the deeper you go, the more things get a little surreal, until a particular hallway was discovered down a particular branch of this particular salt mine, particularly about 2,000-ish feet below the surface of Lake Erie. Whew. And after an interaction with a secret passage, they had a little tour of the place. Got to see the fine arts that the kind, the mortals, the sleepers, in a sense, of Cleveland never get to see. Or if they do, none of them have really gotten to tell the tale, for some reason. And this eventually led to the 4 of them getting to stand in the audience chamber of the sheriff of Cleveland. And you might go, well, that makes sense, right? It's a city. There's police, right? Well, there's mortals that, enforce mortal law, but the sheriff is a little different. As a member of the court, the high-ranking member of the grand organization known as the Cameron, the sheriff is the right hand of the prince, an enforcer of the Masquerade, one who tracks down vampiric criminals and maybe even some other supernatural entities, creatures, or investigates the things that the mortals are not equipped to investigate. Though these 4 were called and given a job to work with one of the scourges. Maybe a scourge is not quite a deputy, since they were deputized as hounds, the group of vampires, that is. But a scourge might be a more particular assassin. Someone sent out, a specialist in various things here, in order to scour the city for those that have caught the sheriff's attention. And were placed under the gentle love and care of one of the scourges, who called himself Damocles. Being escorted out of the salt mines, the group was given time to return back from whence they came and to prepare, because in a few days, so actually, hang on, so it might not be the 17th yet. We might end up meeting on the 17th. After a few nights, I should say. Sorry. Sorry, crew. I said the D word. Oh, that's not good for vampires, everyone. And you know, I don't know how many of you now as kindred, if you still fall for that. How used to saying, "Oh yeah, by day" or "every day," when
You can live through one or two of them quick touches. They're not intolerable.
The popular game among those kindred with Superman syndrome is to see who can watch the sun come up the longest before you got to retreat. Cleveland, home of Superman, by the way, everyone. I'm sure there's been some staring contests before, voluntary or not, as the sheriff did kind of imply happens. Tough love here when you have to hide your complete existence, which could last into theoretical forever, until the sun actually expands and consumes our world. Though I don't know if the CAM has a plan in place for that yet. One thing at a time. Anyway, so you had returned to your havens, wherever they are, with whomever you share it with, if anyone. And the time has passed. You were given this invitation by Angel, an administrator here of the sheriff. And this is now the night to report to a lakeside warehouse for your meetup with Damocles. And I would like you all to we'll go in order here. Go over quickly how it is. Oh, and we'll say you're still within the city. You're still on the lake. We'll say you're more towards on the west side of Cleveland here. And as you are rousing, which I would want a rouse check from each of you for your blood, and also let me know if you're going to use Blush of Life in order to try and more passively fit in among the mortals who might see you. Or if you don't plan on being seen by mortals, hey, that's cool. I guess you don't need to rouse, but I'm going to really need you to tell me how you're going to travel from wherever you are around the city to this place. Now, the location, it might be a couple miles away from where any of you are. I'm keeping it rather indistinct to give you a little bit of time to think about, well, what would be your night. Now you actually have something to do. When we first met you, it was, it's a night in July, get up and another night as a vampire. What do I go out and do? What do I think? There's no real pressure. But now you gotta show up on time to a place. I will presume that each of you were fed before you make these rouse checks. And we will start... we will start in order how we introduced you in the beginning here. So, Wade, as you are waking up in the repurposed tunnels from either Prohibition or the Underground Railroad, or just things that have been carved out since then, because, well, a lot of Nosferatu need a very special place to be. What is your evening...
Good producer.
What's that?
I'm a good producer. I earns my keep. You know what? It's time to get out this hole. Quickly makes his way to the surface and pulls out one of the cell phones he's snatched over the past few days and drops a SIM in it. It's the SIM card from what's the guy's name? Did I write it down? Shame on me. Roland Vasquez, that's right. It's from Vasquez's phone, so I don't care whose cell phone the SIM card's going in, that's who it's going to show up as. And I rapidly dial my ride.
Okay.
At least that's how it is now stored in this cell phone.
My ride.
Got a picture of the most pristine Corvette one's ever seen with decal racing stripes. It's a beautiful car. So
if I may correct you for a moment, it was a beautiful car.
Yes, it's a picture of when it
Sorry,
was.
Clyde.
Ring, ring. Ring-a-ding, ring, ring.
Clyde checks his phone, and upon seeing it, the number, you just... Oh.
Hey, what are you doing?
You know, I was getting ready for the night, and then you called.
And he does make that face on the other end of the line, like he knows exactly how much he's annoying Clyde right now. And he's like, I kind of need a ride.
Of course.
You cool?
Yeah, I can do it. Where to?
Cool. He spits out an address of a nearby junkyard and says, hey, the gate's open, come on back. And then hangs up. Hey, the gate's open,
Clyde.
come on back. Click.
Here we go again. And Clyde will regretfully get into Betty and make his way over to Wade.
Okay.
Ring Betty.
Fortunately, Betty wasn't. Well, you were missing the catalytic converter. It doesn't stop you from driving. And your hubcaps. It's been a couple nights. Maybe you have some stuff ordered. Obviously, the Corvette, it got really scuffed up. You might need a new side mirror on the one side. It's not that it's not drivable, but it... all right, so you're going to hop in the Porsche and make your way to the junkyard?
Sure am. At this point, much to my chagrin, seems I have been placed within a coterie with this fella. This guy. I can't necessarily argue, big boss man sheriff. But I ain't gonna make it easy for Wade.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be the delight of my night. I'm gonna be the delight of his.
Now, as you have, actually, in a spectacular fashion here, it seems that all four of you have woken up a little hungrier than you normally are here. I don't know, Clyde, is this just you pumping yourself up, or is this maybe a little bit of that, are you feeling a little hangry at the situation? What is your interpretation of this as you get into your Porsche and you're like, wow, I'm driving this beautiful machine to a junkyard to pick up like a 150-pound potato?
Well, normally I have something really pretty as the passenger seat. So, you know, main thing that I establish and make sure that is protocol anytime I gotta work with Mr. Wade is I go ahead and lay down a good towel, a couple good towels all over the seat, disinfect the area, keep the dashboard clean. I don't like that he tracks a little bit of mud everywhere he goes. It's a little bit distressing. Betty might be missing a few things, but that don't mean she gotta look ugly. And I'm sure Wade would be very interested in spreading his.
So, do you normally
Regardless.
keep a bottle of hand sanitizer or some like wipes of some kind in your car?
I usually keep a couple cleaners in my cars. It kind of became par for the course since this whole undead thing.
Very well. You prepare for your passenger here, and Wade, after an appropriate amount of time, it would seem that Clyde was able to find the particular entrance that you referred to the junkyard, and has rolled up. Your Uber is here, Wade.
You literally roll up and see the construction van from anywhere in any big city, anywhere. It has a windshield and a front and a passenger window. It's got a slide panel door with no windows. It's got the swing open back doors that takes one of those nice circular barrel locks. It looks like at the very least the driver's door has been pushed out of its place. It's no longer there, but there's a piece or two of glass picking up from the little rim. You see, you clearly identify Wade as he looks over his shoulder at you, points in your general direction, and turns around to two other cloaked individuals and starts handing over stacks of money.
You know, I've been wondering what the hell you be getting into, other than mud.
Hey, Uber, I've decided you got a new nickname. You're fantastic. I love the wipes, and that smell in there, I don't know where you get it, but keep buying it, okay? It's better than I'm used to. I feel like I owe you a tip or some kind of rating somewhere. We can make Ray as one of your favorite riders. Rolando Vasquez. We'll make him your favorite rider, all right? I'll put him as Uber. That's what you put the Uber app in, right?
I ain't no Uber.
So anyway, I need your keys.
Mine?
Yeah.
No. Why?
We're not taking your car. Your car is going nowhere. It's too identifiable. We're gonna take that. And he nudges his head over at the white panel. Looks exactly as your mind can picture the worst van on the planet in the wrong neighborhoods every time.
I'm sorry, my car is too identifiable and you're saying we go in the kitty stealing van?
We call it the ice cream truck. And Wade tosses you a set of keys.
Grabs them in the midair.
Can my boy get your keys, please? I promise they'll take amazing care of that thing.
What are these cloaked individuals? Who are they? What do they look like? What am I working with here?
They really go out of their way to hide their faces. They look in shadowed directions. Their little hoods would fall over them. And they're like kind of patiently waiting. They're like, we got work to do.
All right. Clyde goes ahead and tosses the keys over. If anything happens to it, little Betty Boop over there, you break her, I break you. And then he turns over to Wade.
There.
Damn ice cream truck. There ain't no sugar in there. I'm sweet enough.
Wade climbs in the passenger seat, waits for Clyde to take over the driver's seat,
He starts it, and the engine just sits there and is chugging and it's like, oh, you can see the physical pain as the engine is just whirring, no start.
There's probably smoke leaking out from the engine cover right between the front and passenger seat. It's probably black and gritty. It's the worst thing you would ever want to see ever. It's terrible. We gotta go. You know, Damocles guy. Can we go? And I keep looking over my shoulder.
Damn cactus, Bobby. Yep, I gotta go. Just a little bit of dry heaving as the car just chugs. Acceleration, nothing.
This
thing is running on hopes and dreams.
Yeah.
And her Porsche is just the least little remembrance in her rear view mirror. There's this big magnet wheel that picks it up and swings and disappears with it. Whether she sees this or not, this is exactly what happens.
This is what Clyde is seeing in the rearview mirror?
If Clyde's paying attention to the Porsche, yes.
Okay.
I'm going to say probably does see it.
I'll tell you what. Let's get our first dice roll. I want you to give me do you see it, and how well do you see it, Clyde?
All right.
Let's see what you see.
What do you want me to roll? What's
yeah, that nice bread and butter roll for that. We're looking for one success. This is just, Art, you are kind of distracted. It's worth a roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
nice.
2.
All right.
Wade has no expression on his face and hears it going and hears it happening.
If it matters to you, Clyde, at least the cloaked figure seemingly threw some kind of a blanket or the like over your car before the big electromagnetic thing touched on top of it, magnetized your car, and it started swinging out of the way. So at least you don't have raw metal on metal scraping for your roof.
He's just looking at it. He's like, ah! He's screaming. I think he turns around to Wade. I'm serious, man. If anything happens to her, is she going?
Composure. Look. Pretty boy Uber, I promise you. Your car is in good hands. When you brought it here, it was fucked up. My boys will fix it. Fear not. I think you'll actually be impressed by the time we get it back.
All right.
Then with the sound of a backfire, this is a bit of a gunshot sound, and an almost cartoonish. The van trundles off down the street out of the junkyard. Let's go over to Cheryl. Cheryl, you woke up. You're feeling a little hungry for the effort. What are you thinking and doing, and how do you intend on getting to this indicated lakeside warehouse?
Well, I always make sure my day is scheduled out, or my night is scheduled. So I finish up any work that needs to do, and I leave precisely at the time that I can walk to the location.
Okay.
Without rushing.
All right. As I mean, you already have everything cleared. Your schedule, you get to talk to your boss every night. And obviously, especially with that writ that you have, which does, in vampiric terms, confers a status upon you. You know, you have a very specific mission from someone who, in many circumstances, outranks even your sire. Over that time, Eric would have talked to you, maybe given you some advice to things to be on the lookout for or to prepare for. But ultimately, you don't need to do any evaluations tonight. You already topped off your evaluations, acknowledging wink, the night before. And you take off. You start walking down. The main streets, then the side streets, then the back streets here. And as you do, there's a group of belligerents that approach you as you're getting out of the city proper. So there's really not a lot of other people around, and this warehouse is certainly not in the way of anything. It is, but if it's sparsely populated, as your destination is, there is a group of people here who do emerge from a dark, out-of-the-way area. Hey, lady, what are you doing in these parts?
That is none of your concern. Now leave. I'm gonna use Daunt.
Oh, dude, we're just getting right into it. Okay. Bring it on.
It's out of the way, peasant.
So what is the nature of your ability here that you're invoking?
Should I just read the description?
Yeah, go ahead.
Instead of attracting people, the vampire uses presence to repel. With this power, the user appears threatening and exudes an aura of menace powerful enough to make most mortals avoid their attention, and even vampires think twice about acting against them. So, I literally just look at them, I give them my signature icy stare, and tell them to leave.
Okay, and I'm sorry, with mortals, there's no test that's needed. You just, or do you have to rouse the blood to use this power?
Adds the user's presence rating to any intimidation rolls.
Okay, so you will need to roll intimidation, but you'll get to add your extra dot or dots of presence. So what we will do is let's call this a
So slow.
You're not really trying to manipulate them, you're just commanding them in this regard. So I guess we'll go charisma plus intimidation. I think your icy stare can absolutely apply because at least the leader of this small group of people has walked up and has maintained eye contact with you in order to try and actually diminish you. So that would be, let's see, you have 3 in charisma, you have 3 in intimidation, plus 1 for icy stare, you're up to 7. And then how many dots? You have 1 dot in presence. So you'd be rolling 8 dice in your pool. Now, there are, I'll say there's 3 of them in this small group. So I'm going to look for 3 successes with your roll. And if you don't make it, you might have an option. Either, well, before, if you wish to blood buff yourself, you may, or if it doesn't work out, you might be able to re-roll with willpower. Oh, or you could just get 6 successes and absolutely, all right, well, Yeah. All right. Well, so Cheryl,
Leave.
you T-pose on them and absolutely, yeah. So if the van got a bit of a cartoonish send off, one of these ruffians here kind of gives that door. Come on, boss, let's get out of here. She's scary. And the leader does back away. He's still trying to maintain face with you. He's backing away. He looks concerned, but yeah, that's a good idea. You're lucky this time. Don't know what I'd even want with you anyway. Cold
Now
bitch.
go on.
And they retreat to the shadows off to the side.
And Cheryl just continues on her way. She left herself enough time in case of traffic or situations, so she's still on schedule.
Alrighty. Yeah, you handedly dealt with people who are looking to cause some trouble here with you. And congrats on that. You just, adjust your tie and you just keep on. Actually, how did you dress for tonight, by the way, Cheryl? Maybe you don't have the tie. I don't know.
I feel like she's still in her business casual.
Oh, okay. BizCaz Fry, even though it's not Fry. That's fine. Okay. In fact, real quick, cutting back over to Wade and Clyde, how are each of you, how did you dress for this meetup? Also business casual?
How did I dress?
Yeah, just jeans and a t-shirt. Are you wearing a suit? What are you doing for this?
We weren't exactly given necessarily an itinerary of how we're supposed to look. So honestly, the most that I'm gonna do is make sure that I'm blending into the scene. That said, we were given sort of an idea of what scene we're gonna be, right?
Yeah, you were showing up to an abandoned warehouse to receive some instruction from a scourge for an upcoming mission given to you by the sheriff. There may be a written test, but that's probably not going to be the case.
Business casual, more like business functional. Let's go with a button. Yeah, but button up shirt, rolled up sleeves. Still wearing my token leather jacket. It's necessary. Sunglasses, and I'm not really much of a slacks kind of guy, so we're gonna have to go with jeans. But I keep them black so that it's still, a degree of decency. Something that I'd be expected to wear at an interview.
Okay. And for you, Wade, is it gray sweatpants season for you yet, my friend, or what are we looking at here?
No, not a chance. I might be from low down, but I ain't low down. Damn. So he's wearing a nice, Panama shirt, nice hat to go with. Someone actually called him Cuban earlier today. And he's climbing between the seats into the back of the van, where he quickly puts on the city worker overalls and starts looking through a big stack of magnetic signs.
For those of you in the audience, if you missed it last week, Wade stole a disguise to look like a city Parks and Rec person. So that was added to your inventory and you're using it. Excellent. All right. Now, Ivy,
You're hard to get magnets printed.
You're already here, but I want you to tell me what you remember about how you got here.
Well, it was easy enough to get the night off, considering we had a few days in advance. She's got her own car, so she drove down until she was within walking distance, but not any place where her car would be easily spotted, and she just walked the rest of the way in.
As you are driving, Ivy, your father, who is also coincidentally enough Cheryl's sire and boss. This is a bit of a complicated triangle here. Is riding along with you. Ivy. I'm a little worried, you know.
Worried? Doesn't sound like you.
Well, I'm just not certain if either I or your sire have prepared you for what might happen.
Well, I already went through things with Ed, so everything should be fine.
I don't necessarily mean it that way, Ivy. And as you're driving and you pass by the streetlights, every time you pass underneath a streetlight so it's brightest in your car, your father fades beside you, and then he comes back in the dark between the streetlights as you're talking to him.
And every time it happens, she shakes her head and reminds herself, it's in my head, don't respond. He's not there.
It's not the complications of the schedule, Ivy. I understand if you have some misgivings regarding our relationship or how it ended up, but I want you to be as strong as I know that you can be. You're going to need it.
You're not here. You're not here.
And as you think that you feel a hand on your shoulder to give you like a reassuring like squeeze, I would actually like you to make a dex drive, and I only need well, actually you're a little distracted. I want 2 successes on a dex drive, or if you don't want to, this is to avoid running over a cat that is run out in the middle of the road. If you don't care, then I don't need a test. You automatically pass the drive.
I'm gonna rouse for that because I'm not about to run over a cat.
Okay. All right. Congrats on the
Maddie,
success
that
there.
was absolutely mean. How dare.
It's Vampire the Masquerade. I gotta
I
push
know.
buttons.
I forgot to put in the modifier. Oops. There we go. Yeah, that's getting more powered. I don't care.
Okay, willpower it.
Hey, there we go.
All right. So as you're speaking and you try and shake off the hand kind of maybe instead of the hand on your shoulder to give you something reassuring, it's one of those moments where as you're driving, maybe you stuck. This isn't like maybe a real life thing, or at least we can imagine. Whether it's someone you're driving with puts their hand out and as they slam on the brakes to try and keep you from moving forward or something. But while the seatbelt is tightening and you are grinding to a stop here, and also kind of like anti-lock, avoiding the cat. That seatbelt as it's holding you is it feels like your father's arm are trying to protect you in that regard. But the cat who's just frozen in the middle of the road, you swerve around, not hitting, but also not hitting the light pole or anything. Your father doesn't return for the rest of the trip to the warehouse. But you're here. What kind of a car are you driving, Ivy?
I didn't really pick one out for her, so it's just something that's not really flashy, just ordinary looking.
Okay, so you got like a early aught Ford Taurus, like a most generic, it
Yeah.
has 4 wheels and moves forward. Got it. All right.
Exactly.
Okay. It's my A to B. That's all I need it to be. All right. Well, the 4 of you arrive, and I presume Cheryl is the strategic 5 minutes early for the meetup.
Oops.
The white van pulls up.
Shows up.
Yep. The white van shows up about the same time. There's a little bit of going out of the way and a little hesitation, riding the brakes a little bit in order to see what was happening to Betty. So I'm going to say that Cheryl is getting here first, followed by the white van. As you two climb out, are you saying or do anything with Cheryl, or Cheryl, are you addressing the figures out of the white van?
Hey, Jerry. Nice to see ya.
Sarah lifts up her notebook and immediately notes down that, once again, this is not so.
Ignore me again. Rough. Got a bit of a question.
Mm-hmm.
What you got jotting down in your notes there all the time? Always seem to be nose deep in it. Clyde goes ahead and just kind of swaggers over to her. Kind of tries to peek over her shoulder, probably just like only slightly taller than her, but honestly, likely close to her height. How tall is Cheryl?
I don't think I gave her a height. Let me check my notes real quick. She's probably like 5'5".
I'm pretty sure Clyde is only about like. No, wait, I have it in here. Yeah, he's 5'10". He's trying to like get like a peek over her shoulder and trying to check out her notes. Got anything interesting in there? Anything about me?
Nothing for your eyes.
Oh, nothing from my eyes. Whose eyes are they meant for?
For whom it may concern.
Now you're just playing. You're just teasing.
Hey,
about it.
Ivy, what color is your car?
We'll do like a dark blue.
Okay. As there is a teasing going on here between you two, a dark blue early aught Ford Taurus nondescriptly rolls up, and you can imagine who that is, unless there's a lot of other people who got this invitation.
Wade finally wriggles his way out of the back of the van, kicking both the doors open. Hey, Uber, you gotta come see what I found on the floor. Check this out.
Oh god. I got the strangest implication that maybe you happen to find your own face on the floor.
He motions from one of the back doors. Quick!
And Clyde finally walks over. As he does so, he peeks over his shoulder. Hey there, doll eyes. Long time no see.
Hello. I see you two are up to, your usual antics.
Regrettably.
What's with the van?
It's bad, isn't it? It's bad.
Wade throws back the gray, as drab as it gets, contractor carpet from back, and there's a trap door about the size of a body. and he pulls it open. It's empty, but it's got a locking mechanism. His voice is, check it out. Bump and run.
So it is a kiddie game. Well, thank you for the clarification.
Well, today it's the city's park and recreation. He closes it, rolls the carpet over, takes 2 signs out, walks to either side of the van, and puts a magnetic up
Oh,
that acknowledges the other 2 ladies who have arrived.
You
Well,
do
we can only
realize
tell
that
them
white
about
vans
the-
are not subtle, don't you?
It's not supposed to be subtle. There's nobody in it. Y'all should probably
just
park
saying it's-
2 or 3 blocks away. I'm saying if there's a car that we gotta ditch, this is the one. If there's a body we gotta lift, this is the one.
surprised the brain ain't not that to you. Or with your face looking like. What?
But yeah, it's interesting to see what it would be like if that did happen.
Again.
As you all are, you've assembled outside. There is a call from within the dark structure that you had pulled up to. A little bit darker than perhaps what the photo here is providing, but there's a call from within, a beckon.
I guess it's class time and recess is over. I'm thinking that way.
I'm gonna go meet up with Mr. Big Nick Large, again.
Damocles, he claimed himself such a big name, big boots to fill.
You jealous?
No, my feet are big enough. Like the rest of me. He gives you the weird guy wink. I mean, it's lewd. It's
He just, Ivy just sees Clyde
half
like,
his face is still like trying to make the motion. It looks like half his face is a little slow mo. But the attempt, you can tell the attempt was there.
Wasn't
wait, do
talking
me a
to
favor.
you, but okay, thanks for that.
me a favor and never try to wink again.
I second that.
There's this part of me that wants to roll a compulsion. No. Wade resists the urge to just throw it back out there. He knows when enough's enough.
Now, Damocles, your hounds have shown up, and they have made a fantastic job of braying and yelping here as they have approached and entered your location. Now, you have a job to do, and quite frankly, who am I to get in your way? And so I do believe that you four are out of my hands, and I am going to place you under the tender administrations of Damocles for the next short while, which will be representative of several nights of training. Because you have a big job, and Damocles needs to be able to rely on you. So I'll eat some popcorn in the background, and I'll be a part of things in my own way, but for right now, Damocles, I believe this is up to you.
The Nosferatu that you end up seeing is standing along the edge of the dark, coming to end up looking upon the 4 of you who have entered. His eyes without pupils, you can still feel upon you. When he ends up here looking to each of you, he pauses for a moment. A long, awkward silence before he raises a finger. Do you hear that, Childer?
He's
Do you
supposed to be
hear that?
listening to something.
Do you
Other
hear
than-
it, Clyde? Silence. Very useful tool for the endeavor that you will be here facing in the near future. And yet, for some odd reason, the entirety of the neighborhood knows you're here. I could hear it arriving with that horrible muffler sound. A vehicle of dubious purpose. Tell me, were you intending to alert everybody in the city, or was this simply on my account?
We picked it up. It was a trick. One of your guys used it. I thought it was a great idea for blending in. And he kind of does the lapel raise for his city, unitard overalls, whatever the hell he's got.
Silence. For this entire job to work, there are 3 things that we have to end up keeping in mind. You may be immortal vampires, they're monsters amongst mortals. But in my eyes, you're little more than stumbling babes. My job is to rectify that. Are we understood? So, silence. The first and foremost. If no one knows you're upon the vessel, then no one knows that you will be searching it. Seems common sense. I'm sure that is something you are completely apt upon, dear Wade.
Wade, without a tick, activates silence of death and starts walking around the circle of gathered people noiselessly.
Amazing. Does that work for your mouth as well?
From time to time.
Good. It'll be a strong bit of practice, no doubt. So, let us start with a simple exercise. He reaches into his pocket, as though looking for some form of old artifact or something. He's very careful about it. Before he reaches it, his hand covers the whole of it. Before he extends it out to you, with whoever will take what's in his hand.
Ivy
Who's
will
closest
step
to him?
forward and Ivy will step forward and take it.
He moves and places something in your hand, careful to have you clasp it. It's cold. It feels like it's covered in mildew or something like that. Return that to me without letting the others know what it is. The 3 of you are to end up ascertaining what it is.
Alright.
Whoever has the object in question by the end of this, I will offer a small assistance. A little incentive.
Wait,
It sounded like
Yeah.
a question. Oh, go ahead.
nothing much. Just What's the time limit on this? You said at the end of this? What's the time?
It is by the end of this, before we go off to end up recovering what it is we must recover from the boat.
Great. Sounds fantastic. Clyde is going to use fleetness and yoink that.
Ivy's
And
gonna
it
try
begins.
and dodge it. Try to keep it away from me.
Best of luck.
Yeah.
I forgot how fleetness works. Dun, dun. I just know that I need to roll the rouse check, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Hee hungrier. That's not good.
Yes, new hunger 3.
However, this is going to be a problem for everyone until the end of the scene. Let me see really fast. I'm gonna pull up the book and double check what fleetness is.
Add the celerity rating to the user's dice pool non-combat dexterity test. Once per turn, the user may also do this in defending with dex athletics.
Alright, so this is non-combat. Let me double check. I need to read that again. My brain just omitted like 90% of what we just said.
Fair.
Cool. Alright. So dexterity, athletics. And I get a +2.
Now, the trick here is that Ivy has already a grip on this. So I think it would be appropriate if Ivy can either dodge or just hang on. It's already clasping your hands. They can't just yoink it out. They got to be able to swiftly finagle it. So I think a opposed dex or strength athletics on Ivy's part. Your choice.
Gotta be 5.
Yeah.
Brawl.
I
Like
think
Apple.
it's the same dice pool either way, so I think I'm going to go dex, and I'm going to rouse for.
Getting hungry over here.
Right?
This is a problem.
It's becoming one.
Everybody's dancing with that demon tonight.
And that's getting powered.
Whilst
like
this
that.
is going on, Wade will take a opportunity of a blip second to roll around the backside of the van behind the open door to go into unseen passage. And that's it.
All right. Wait, would you give me I'll just take half on this. Would you be kind enough to end up rolling a wits obfuscate?
Me?
Yes.
Happy to. Happy to.
I'm just kind of curious. Yeah, I will certainly give you the benefit of the doubt that Clyde's sudden go-get-'em attitude would have everybody's attention, so no need to slink away, but there might be other factors you're not considering at this exact moment.
Cheryl, meanwhile, is writing more notes.
Oh my god. Alright.
Yeah, that's Clyde beats Ivy out on that.
Wait.
On my
Okay.
part.
Now, what is the wits obfuscate roll from Wade?
There we go. It should
Different
roll
style
this time.
It's
The
okay.
total of 7. With
7
no modifier.
successes. Total of 7 successes?
2!
Or...
Two
Two.
successes.
7 dice
Oh.
pool.
Okay.
I will willpower re-roll that. Happily.
By all means.
Happily.
For those of you in chat, do you remember what the little fangs mean on the D10s? Watch that as their hunger keeps growing.
Alright, so that gives me a total of 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay. I will keep that in mind and make a note. Now, Clyde, you managed to end up here blitzing here quickly, almost a blur as you end up here managing to reach between Ivy's fingers as Ivy clasps the object that Damocles has placed within Ivy's hands. You steal it away. I'm curious. You have it in hand. What do you do? Do you look at it? Do you clasp it yourself? What can you do?
Clyde's gonna do something fucking insane. He's going to put his jacket over himself and he's going to swallow it.
Okay, so not without knowing what this is, not checking, you are going to try and swallow it.
We got Cool Hand Luke over here with 50
Good.
eggs. All right.
Good news. Good news. It doesn't matter if it's toxic or not.
Yeah.
But you will notice that it expands in your hand the second that you do it. It fills the entirety of your mouth. It's got a rubber texture to it. As you try and chew it down, it squeaks.
Did I just put a rubber duck in my mouth?
Yes, you did.
Oh no! Oh god!
I would like
Clyde
to.
realizes his mistake, but it's too late.
I'm not. You know what? I'm not even going to make you roll for it. I'm just going to let this go. You consume it, and
You just hear a hiccup, and it's like.
yeah. I'm sure those of you who are cultured are suddenly thinking of the movie Snatch right now. And with that, Clyde's the only one who knows exactly what this object is, as Ivy has not seen it.
Mm-mm.
What is Wade doing at this exact time as Cheryl's taking notes? That Ivy's mystified that the object has suddenly disappeared from hand, and Clyde is making strange noises.
Muted. Oh, no.
I can't hear Wade if you hear Wade
Yeah.
speaking.
Of course you can. I didn't hit the damn button. Fucking technology.
Wow, okay, so Silence of Death does work on his mouth.
Wade looks like he's about to go scratch his ass and actually pulls out his book, and his obfuscation quickly makes his, just a real rough sketch of what just happened, and then makes his way around the van as quietly as possible. And if Clyde is anywhere near the open back door, will shove with all his might into the van.
Going to try and end up doing that. Okay. I'll tell you what, since I don't think we've really gone through the details of where Clyde ended up after trying to take away the object in question, there is, I think, Clyde, you would agree, there's about as equal of a chance of them being in that position as they wouldn't be in that position. Nothing was really stated. So since neither of us know, I'm going to ask Wade to give me a high or low.
low. I'm a fucking hoss.
All right,
Quite
then
low.
give me a D10 and give me the number. You guess right, and everything works out for you. You guess wrong, and something else might show up.
Oh, come on.
What do we got there? What do we got?
Hey.
5, low. It is a low. In fact, yes, Clyde seems to have ducked almost exactly to the side door of the panel van, trying to end up getting away from Ivy. Their coat is currently draped over their head as you hear a strange squeak.
Oh god. Do I have a chance to try and, like, as soon as Wade grabs him, have a chance to try and get away?
You do, but you're going to be at a -2 penalty because you don't have any way to know if Wade is coming at this exact moment. I don't think you've been operating under any form of sense the unseen or anything like that at this exact moment. So
No, sir. So I'm just doing an athletics dex roll straight because
with a -2 penalty, yep. And you're right, you
Oh,
do get your
straight.
bonus.
I had
You-
fleetness activated.
That is true.
Does that not count for the whole scene?
Yes, it does. I wouldn't qualify this as a combat action. I think that's fair. No one's actually trying to cause harm. It's just watching a bunch of fledglings currently going insane over what, unbeknownst to many of them, is a rubber duck.
Okay. Alright, still at my... So, full size, still -2? Or should I just make it flat? Because the fleetness
It'll be
is-
flat. It'll be
Okay.
flat. So the -2 being not knowing Wade's about to do this, with the +2 of fleet. Now, Wade,
Oh,
yeah, we're looking for a strength brawl, so looks like you
I
already
didn't-
rolled that.
I didn't include my obfuscation in any kind of bonus or anything like that. Just Kindred
No.
Brawl.
It's straight brawl. The penalty is towards Clyde because they don't know.
Yep.
All right. So
It's
that
okay.
is 3-3, which goes to the instigator, which is Wade. So Wade, you managed to suddenly put Clyde off angle, and in one smooth motion, you managed to push them at the door as you're opening. Clyde, being distracted by the sudden noise that you involuntarily made, you think for a moment and go, "What was that?" And you tumble into the van. Damocles is currently sitting there, one finger pressed against his temple, going, "Well, that escalated quickly."
Cheryl is mimicking Damocles' expression.
Wade
Just like,
I was
quickly
just
They're all
follows
so
into
dumb.
the van, pulling the door shut, slamming the lock down, and jumps into the driver's seat.
oh what?
I was just sitting there like, the fuck?
Now, Cheryl, was it?
yes.
What were my specifications of this challenge?
To figure out what the item was before we had to leave, and he swallowed it.
That would appear to be the case. Are we anywhere near the time of leaving as of yet? Wasn't aware I called the meeting short.
Cheryl looked at her watch. No, we just started.
Well, not near lacking in enthusiasm. Very well. So what is something that we can pull from this, Cheryl, given your need to end up observing and taking adequate notes?
Not to be vague, or else they'll do dumb shit like this.
Hmm.
I think they need more firm direction.
The firm direction will come. I want to end up knowing their natural inclinations. You, for instance, here stay still. You end up observing, trying to end up being true to your blue blood spirit. Clyde is impulsive and will gradually end up taking on any challenge without much forethought. Ivy will end up being an instigator, but requires prodding. And Wade believes themselves to be the most clever of the group, without thinking through the actual situation. Does this seem like an adequate assessment from what you have observed of the coterie?
So far, yes.
Excellent. He just observes. And then looks to Ivy. And Ivy, have you noticed something about this little... And as I'm sure the key is turning over at this exact time, have you ever observed this oddity?
I have.
What have you noticed?
Well, I've certainly noticed that Clyde is a little bit squeakier than usual.
Oh, we lost him.
Lost who?
Derek.
Oh, he dropped out.
Yep. He must have had a blip.
Yeah, they're...
Blips happen.
No. You see, he obfuscated. The Nosferatu folks, they do that.
So mentioning that, and I can repeat this for Derek, as I'm trying to get this damn beast moving, I yell back to my passenger, "Hey, get in the body hole. Trust me, get in the body hole now, quick.
What? Oh, I'll cut a deal with you, man. You don't try and slice me open like some kind of fucking
He
sicko.
said last one with the key wins, right? Slams it into gear, throws out the emergency brake, and starts doing donuts towards our other two coterie members, as if to take them out by sideswiping them with the van.
Which would put him going directly towards Damocles at this point, if I recall,
Correct.
because he's standing right by Cheryl.
Correct.
Okay.
His intention, however the dice may punish the shit out of me, is to start his little donut wheel tossing thing as soon as the front end passes Damocles. So it's like hit the emergency brake, pop a few gears, start turning the wheel, and see what happens.
Okay.
I would also like to activate Daunt, because attacking the user requires a resolve plus composure roll from you.
Okay, so the way I see this is I'm going to need a composure roll, and they need to be a success of 2, correct, Cheryl?
Difficulty 2, yep.
Okay, so we'll take that from Wade, and then I would like Wade to be able to end up rolling me a Dex Drive.
Gotcha. So willpower first?
This isn't a willpower.
It's a resolve plus composure.
Composure. Yeah, it's a resolve plus composure. It's checking your nerve.
Three successes.
All right, so you managed to do that. Now, you are currently, just to frame this properly, in a battered old van that looks highly suspect.
1970.
Built in the 1970s, in a
Big
ruined-down
steel
warehouse that is cascaded with a whole bunch of junk and what have you around the ground, as we can all see in the images provided by Maddie. I think we're going to make this a nice rounded number of difficulty 3.
Fantastic. My only question is, did Clyde take my advice?
Oh, hell no. As soon as you start moving that vehicle, you just hear Clyde go doo-doo-doo, splat into the back of the van.
So she did not get into the body-sized coffin hole.
Yeah. You hear a large squeak upon impact.
Fantastic.
That is the roll. So we got the resolve
Got it.
plus composure. Sorry, I am a few seconds behind. So
One success.
okay, so at that point, Maddie, would you?
All Wade thinks to in his idea of this competition is that he with the key last can perform all those other things, even if it's a pair of he's working together. But
Cheryl,
these other two ain't getting it back.
Cheryl, and I believe Ivy, given the fact he missed by a factor, or missed by, well, how many successes was that? You got one out of 3?
One.
So, Cheryl, Ivy, I'm going to need you to make me a dex and athletics to dodge out of the way as Wade starts to lose control of the vehicle, threatening to roll over.
This is very apparent from your vantage point.
Well, his intention was just
inside the van.
His intention was just to end up there making you worry. Now he may have misjudged and may actively hit everybody. So, with that, I would like everybody to, you two to end up giving me that at a difficulty 2, thanks to Wade's difficulty difference between his actual roll and the check.
We both got 1.
Oh my goodness.
So you will take a point of each one of you will take a point of superficial as Wade careens into you. But Wade, that's probably not the more concerning portion. The more concerning portion is that the vehicle has stopped.
Okay.
The wheels are not spinning. Or the wheels are spinning, but you're not moving anywhere. They're not squealing. And the vehicle seems to be rising on a very concerning angle right now.
Oh, look out the window.
You currently end up seeing that you may have incidentally hit Damocles, who did not move.
Okay.
Instead, he has chosen to grab hold of the bottom of the van and is currently lifting it.
So,
and you can see him looking at you in the rearview mirror.
Oh, that's fantastic. Wade wordlessly gives the most innocent shrug, like, look, it's like, yeah, I tried. It's got one of those. It was a thought.
I just politely on the back of the van doors, the 2 back doors in the back, just
Out. Out.
Gets out and just tries to slide past Damocles. Like,
Wade opens the driver door and kind of jumps for whatever nearest piece of sand there is.
No, I understand. He's only lifting it maybe like 3 inches off the ground. It's just enough to stop the wheels from turning. Right? This isn't him picking the whole damn thing.
It's got our attention.
Yeah, it's enough to realize he might have activated something, and he proceeds to drop it with authority. You can clearly tell he's a little upset.
Hey. Careful, I just had the suspension done.
So why did you put it at risk?
You said get the key.
I said get the object and know what it was by the end of our session.
It's the
Oh.
object, right?
Does anybody know what it is besides our Toreador?
No, sir.
Well, it would appear that the game is still on. Now let's take a
Briskly
few.
walk next to Clyde, putting a manly grip and march him forward. Like, here it is. I brought it. Delivered.
I didn't think we were finished just yet. Now start to pay attention, Wade.
God, how many ways must I win this game? Okay, what next?
You haven't won anything as of yet. It's not over. So, let us observe something. Does anybody know where the object is at this exact moment?
Somewhere lodged in Clyde's throat, if not
Or,
lower.
or in what's left of his stomach.
Interesting. Clyde, why did you consider to do such a thing?
Well, gave me a job. Give me a challenge.
Colored me impressed by the pretty one. First observation, you are no longer alive, not one of you. Hence, the need for lungs, pancreas, intestinal tract. These are redundant things. If you want to get something inside of a location, you're just one big suitcase that needs to be emptied out. As long as the heart remains intact and the brain attached,
Here's an awkward wink towards Clyde.
you are able to end up storing all sorts of things. Consider this as a useful consideration. Should you need to end up expediting something from that ship or other things. So, another here thought. Where would we end up finding potentially a place to end up evading pursuers? Jumping into a vehicle seems to stir a lot of trouble, and I have no doubt that I'm going to have to end up observing for those who may come in for the commotion.
Ducking into a prearranged container.
He looks towards the water and gestures. Your container, Wade. You can earn your namesake. Who of you needs to breathe?
None of us.
Stay out of strong tides and you'll be fine. But you can sink to the bottom. And tell me, what sort of gunman is going to chase you under there? That's where we will end up beginning to understand the nature. We will be working with water. You will need to end up knowing how to get in and out. And in order to get in, we must do so. Rule number 1, children.
Silently.
I'm so glad to know someone is paying attention. Now, with that in mind, I want to end up here knowing your capabilities. So, he goes over to a table that he has set just inside and pulls out what appears to be a bunch of loose pieces of paper until you organize them in such a way that you realize these scribbles are actually a map. Let us discuss the logistics of what you are going to deal with. This is going to be a very simple check. It is a group check, so you can add it all together. I want to end up knowing how many of you would be able to add to a intelligence, and this one's going to be academic, specialty city planning, if you have it.
That's actually a good dice pool for me. I don't have that specialty, but
Academics and
intelligence.
Oh,
I could
draw on both those
offer
rivers there,
up
bud.
a die.
If you have 1 dot, you can assist Ivy in this.
And I have an academics specialty of forensics.
1 dot in academics will be all you can end up doing to end up adding an assistant. So we have 1 from Wade. Clyde or
I have-
Cheryl, do either of you have academics?
I have 2 dots in academics.
Okay. Well, then I guess you can ask, is it going to be you or Ivy who's going to be rolling for the group?
What's your base dice for
Intelligence academics.
I have 2 dots in intelligence as well.
Yeah, at base without any modifiers, that's 7 dice for me.
Okay. Clyde, do you have any dots in academics?
No, sir. I only learned
Alright.
how to trust the road.
Ivy, I would like you to end up rolling me an intelligence academics with a +2.
Difficulty?
Don't worry about the difficulty. This is degrees.
Wow. Oh, there's a crit there.
Not a bestial crit, if I'm understanding this correctly, but that ends up bringing it to 9, 10, 11, if I'm counting that correctly.
6 successes.
Oh,
6.
no, okay, I'm misreading.
Yeah.
But still, 6.
And Damocles, this is the what did you roll out again?
This is a academics intelligence. We're currently going over the little things that may not be considered. Sewer exits, for instance, nearby. Major routes, minor routes. Where the tide's going to be coming in. If they have to end up escaping them below the waves, here's the track you can follow to end up making it to a potential escape point. It's a bunch of planning because, bluntly, Damocles is not going to end up leaving up to chance for these morons who can't follow simple instruction to suddenly end up getting out of this alive, such as it is.
Then with that, as part of going over that sort of a thing, you can also go over the ins and outs of what it is you're going to be doing. And so for the 4 of you here as fledglings, Damocles, talking about the practical ins and outs, the things to consider or to not consider, or to reconsider here. He also rolls out a plan for the lake ship, upon which you will be looking through ore to find not ore. And the ship that is rolled out here is called the Maureni, and it is a newer style lake ship. It's 1,000 feet long, about 100 feet wide. Has many holds for many different things. And the pilot house is at the fore, with the accommodations for the sailors in the stern. Also, of course, where the engine room is, lifeboats. Up towards the front here is a boom arm that has a conveyor on it for unloading. And you can go over basics of, well, while we're talking about things, this is generally what we're going to be doing. And while you don't have to worry about ice, the part of the ship that's newer is that it doesn't rely on the Coast Guard's icebreakers in the lakes. This type of a ship can more often it doesn't necessarily need a down season with the new model. It tends to run hot, and the front of it can just crunch through the ice pretty easily. It even has a little stylistic instead of a shark's mouth. It's kind of maybe like a red dragon's mouth at the front to accent the abilities of this state of the art lake ship. If you wish to bring anything else up in this regard here, Damocles, you may. But in doing so well, for sure, talking about ingress, egress, and such could be brought up, as it seems like they're paying attention.
The biggest thing to end up noting at this point is where you would expect most of the crew. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, ST, but this will be at dock at a given time. It
will not be not when
will not be.
Not for what you are going to need to do.
Excellent.
The ship is actually going to be allowed to leave, despite it apparently having something that the prince does not want to leave, because allowing it to leave, at least for a little while, will limit the amount of outside help or resources that could be available to continue the leaving of the not ore.
Now, with the not or comment, this should immediately, and I think you would agree with a academic's intelligence, give them a better sense of understanding of where they can end up quickening the pace by reducing where they should be looking in the ship. Cargo holds would end up having a registry, for instance, so we could end up speeding up their looking in that regard. You will also end up finding that, given the time and what have you, you're also going to want to end up being able to... Well, actually, Matt, is it okay if I reward them for the fact that they managed to get a crit without it going bestial? Those don't come by too often. Oddly enough, there is also a scheduling, which will end up letting you know who, more importantly, how many would be active, and how many may still be at rest, getting ready for the day as they sail off. This should end up providing you an understanding of the numbers you are going to be here dealing with, as well as any important crews, captains, particular notes, which I'm sure Maddie will present to you if you think that it might be useful to your plans.
You think this thing's gonna be rolling out before it's time to? They're getting early release.
It's a distinct possibility, and there will be here a useful margin of error. Harder to end up calling for help and get it to arrive shortly when you end up having a lot of water between you and shore. This is something that your expertise, Wade, might end up coming to useful points. If they
what
are
if
to
we don't let it get to deeper water?
That is upon you to end up discovering. The biggest concern is tide. However, Wade, I might end up suggesting, with your knack of, he looks to the van and looks back to Wade, driving, I hope that you're as well with an outboard motor. Take note of the life raft. Should you end up needing to end up cooling some heat, a life raft suddenly going missing and driving off into the the horizon might end up serving enough to relieve tensions and buy your coterie a little bit more time. A consideration.
There's
Last-
a few.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was agreeing. I was saying there's a few considerations. I
The other
have some thoughts about how to anchor that bad boy where it's at before it even gets a chance to tie off.
We need it to end up looking as though things have gone relatively smoothly, Wade.
That's unfortunate.
If this were that easy, that would end up simply asking you to massacre everybody aboard and take your time. Notice that was not part of the deal.
And after the fact, after not ore's been taken from the ore ship,
First tradition.
no
You don't-
witnesses.
And preferably no bodies. Preferably. If only for your own immortal soul. That being said, let us also account one final piece of the puzzle. Observe what you ended up doing over a simple challenge. How taxing that was. I observed no less than 2 instances of the use of one's gifts of blood in a very reckless attempt. Should the beast take best of you on this, it is almost assured failure. Do not tempt it unnecessarily. After all, the beast has a tendency to break the first lesson we were taught this evening. Now, what is that lesson again?
To be silent.
Look who gets the gold star. Now, with that being said, are there any further questions before we begin the more rigorous moment of your evening?
Is anyone gonna at least acknowledge that we got the damn thing?
It was given to you. It's a question of, you're not referring to what Clyde currently is holding. No. No one will acknowledge it, because it is not something that you will end up knowing of. However, I'm sure a clever individual like yourself, Wade, would understand that silence is golden. Emphasis on gold.
Secrets are an ends to a means, my friend.
If only you would end up learning that yourself. Still, try not to embarrass yourself too much, Wade. Cheryl,
Yes.
I am led to end up believing that you are still coming to terms with your gifts of blood. The signature of which I would expect of a blue blood is dominate. Are you at all capable of its use?
Yes. I'm not as green as you.
Tell me, is it you can have those act upon your beck and call, or simply forget momentary or partial moments of time? A basic use of the power.
I can create new memories, if need be.
More advanced option. One that might serve well you and Clyde should end up working in pairing. Wade, I'm sure you operate well independently enough. He starts gesturing, and he goes through some details with the ship that really are more important to the character than the plot at this point. And he starts to look to Ivy. Ivy, take heart of the second lesson you learned. It will be important coming up. Don't let it slip through your fingers.
I won't, sir.
I trust that against my better judgment. Let us begin with a simple task. And from here, you would end up finding everything from experience of water through a casual bit of what could politely be called waterboarding, a wonderful point of learning to end up doing rappelling, trying to end up getting up to cranes, climbing, trying to end up ascertaining which of you is the physical and capable, as he has assumed roles, but perhaps he's proven wrong. And you will end up finding yourselves now having to end up wading through 1,000,000 rubber ducks, trying to find something that is a duck. You end up finding yourselves squirreling the nights away, finding these odd tests. All the while, Clyde occasionally squeaks on the movement, making the others wonder what it is that that Clyde ends up going. Though I'm sure once you started digging through the ducks, one might end up ascertaining it through an educated guess.
Wade'll slowly creep up behind Clyde and go, we can get that out. Figure out what the hell it is. It won't hurt but a little bit.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I know what it is. And, honestly, I just need to pass it like a kidney stone. It'll be fine.
He just... All right, then.
It's best you cough it up before we have to get started on anything else.
That's a good
Now,
point.
Damocles, over these nights, the lessons have been instilled, and doing things like climbing is important for you to evaluate their skills and how they behave. Something that you might also need to make sure they can do is know how to repair their bodies. Being fledglings, maybe they've never really been tested beyond some minor scuffs here and there on how to repair themselves.
You spoiled the surprise Clyde set up.
Please.
I believe at the end, the question is simple when he ends up looking to you. Now, here's a question. Over this entire time, I think it would be showcasing which of you would be the more meek and which one of you are the go-getters. And I think over this time, I have made a decision. Clyde, have you passed the object?
I imagine at some point over the course of the days he probably did get it out somehow.
Oh. Would you still have it on your person?
Oh, absolutely.
How would you have removed it? Given the fact that you can't really voluntarily throw anything up, that's a biological response, and you're a dead thing. You can't pass it through because you don't have a digestive tract that works anymore. You
No.
don't require breathe. You can't choke on it, and it is lodged somewhere, I imagine, between your esophagus and stomach at this point, with only the capability of you here being able to talk being unto itself a supernatural endeavor. So I'm curious how you managed to end up removing it.
Considering my understanding of a little bit of medical knowledge, chances are it probably got lodged, just right there, somewhere in between the esophagus and throat area. It's the thorax. He would have taken a knife to it. He would have sat back at his home, made sure he was in a private space, taken a knife to it, cut it out. As he put it, passed like a kidney stone.
Clyde, when you pull it out, you pull out this greasy-looking, exposed to the elements rubber duck. But you will end up noticing something else. Now, this has been pretty mashed up. Trying to eat this in any way, shape, or form is difficult. So I congratulate you on your complete lack of gag reflex. But you will notice that underneath it is written a number, a phone number, in felt, staining it.
A number.
A phone number.
Prime goes ahead.
Go ahead.
The moment he pulls it out of his throat, finds that, he heals up his throat, gets it so that everything is fine. He's able to speak properly without sounding like
Quick.
Yeah. He turns to grabs himself a disposable phone. Something easy, something quick. Something he can get rid of on the spot.
And just as a point of interest, this number isn't local. In fact, it's a long-distance call. Apparently, it's a Seattle number.
Seattle, huh? Oh, back in my daylight time, I've done a couple races down that way. Let's check it out. He calls the number.
It rings. You're worried, maybe, just a bit, what this number could end up meaning. Why would there be a phone number to Seattle? And then you hear a pickup, a heavy breathing, actual breathing on the other side. Hello, Mr. Meyer's office. This is Chunk speaking. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Hey there, Chunk.
May I ask who's calling?
Sure. Name's McCoy.
Mr. McCoy. Oh, okay. Mr. Myers doesn't have you scheduled on the docket. How did you end up getting this number?
It's from a mutual acquaintance.
Is he on the list? Wouldn't it happen to got the number in some strange way? Make sure you have all your ducks in a row.
Yeah, sure. Can I? Clyde is not smart, and I am lacking my own brain power. Can I roll an insight check to think of like an idea of what kind of pseudonym or reference Clyde could come up with that would get him connected?
Okay. Roll. I'll tell you what. Roll me a wit intelligence wit, or no, wit's insight.
I love that I have like 0 insight, but you know what? We're just going. We're doing it. Yeehaw!
Okay, 2 successes. That is more than enough. Clyde, you think that them saying, "Do you have your ducks in a row?" is them trying to prod how you got the number and how did you get the number? Where'd you find that number?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Well, my question is like he's trying to think of a code. How could he reference this without giving anything particular away? Ducks in a row.
Bert and Ernie.
Yep, that's my first thought. Little ducky, you're the one.
Sure, I'll go with that.
Oh.
I got it from a Mr. Bert and Mr. Ernie.
Oh, this is one of those games. Oh, this is going to be fantastic. Oh, okay. Yeah, Mr. Myers ended up telling me that this was supposed to be that thing that he was expecting to end up calling in. Okay, so I'm supposed to end up telling you that you can find it in the... It is specifically marked by a red seal. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but apparently it's marked by a red seal. You're supposed to know that. Congratulations on winning the contest. Mr. Myers is going to be so pleased. He's wondering, he hasn't stopped telling me that, oh God, he's been angry that nobody's been picking up. It's been 3 days. He was expecting you to call last night.
Yeah. A few things came up. I was busy in the meantime. Anyways, Chunk, was it?
You tell that sword collector guy that everything's going to be fine. Everything has been told. Yeah, congratulations on winning the contest.
Yeah,
Morrison,
thanks.
right? Mr. Morrison? I'll write that down on the list. Congratulations. I'll be the first one to end up telling Mr. Myers.
Thanks, Chunk. You have yourself a great evening.
Wow. Hot diggity. And the phone hangs up.
He just... Clyde looks at the phone, confused for a second. Right. And he'll go ahead and just snap it at that point. Put any additional pieces through into a garbage bin, also filled with many destroyed phones. Red Sea. That. It's interesting. I don't know what kind of seal I'm supposed to be looking for, so just gonna assume, tell everyone else, and go from there. And at this point, he'll pull out a different phone, not destroyed, and it's a nicer one. And he'll look for one particular number.
What kind of number are you looking for?
It's listed as Cherry. He's only got a few numbers in there. Cherry, Doll Eyes, and Mr. Muddy.
Now, who is this? I actually, before I pull it away, has Matt played this character just yet?
As what now?
The character you're calling. Given I don't have access to your character sheet, has Maddie portrayed the character just yet?
Cherry is specifically Cheryl. Miss Page.
Okay.
It's the only way that he can get in contact with her, and my assumption is that it goes straight to her desk.
Fair enough. Miss Cheryl, I believe this is your cue.
So her phone will ring. She'll look at the number, put her phone down, let it go to voicemail.
You just hear Clyde. Hey, Sherry. So, hope the game of hide and seek prop hunt is going great for you. Hey, I was wondering if maybe you wanted to meet up, date sometime soon. But I know you're more of a business girl yourself, so I guess I gotta make the deal a little sweeter for you. I got a business proposal for you. Something you might find some interesting about our little project coming up. Give me a call when you can. I'll be waiting for you. See you around, Toots. He hangs up. And eventually...
You won't get a call back. You'll get a text that says, please send all inquiries through email.
Like encrypted email.
Have you downloaded Signal yet?
And this is our sponsor from NordVPN. No, not really. We're not sponsored.
Rubber Ducky brought to you by our friends over at Hack 5. Wink, wink.
What? Clyde, I have no doubt that your email is encrypted as well as can be. It's probably a basic cipher. And when I say basic cipher, the actual message is just the first letter of each line all the way down. It's probably choppily written, but you can communicate clearly to Cheryl. Cheryl, you may not find this to be the most adequate way of being able to communicate, but at the very least, it's cute that Clyde's trying.
Cute is one word for it.
Inevitably, the message that he's ultimately trying to convey to the whole coterie is red symbol. Red seal. And that's about the majority of it. He's not going to elaborate it in any further sense. And he's hoping to God that everyone else gets it.
One can hope. Well, after the last night, it has been grueling. It has been... And it's at this exact moment when you all end up arriving back at the plant filled with rubber ducks, storage warehouse where, well, despite the fact that you might believe that that's what they produced here, reality is it was more used as storage back in the day. But it's nevertheless become a bit iconic and a bit of laughter out here. But still, when you arrive, Wade, you'll end up probably being the first hand of noticing this as you are very, very tied in. There is a series of vans waiting out, all in black, pristine condition. And, well, strangely enough, standing among them is a veiled Damocles.
Well, of course, I, find a place to park this beautiful white van of a beast of a machine because it's got its uses. I spent some time scoping out this yard and checking out these businesses. Matter of fact, I stole me some overalls and some hard hats and name tags. I would happily roll some larceny in dexterity or larceny in wits if you like, sir.
I think I'll give you a pass on that for now. The real challenge, as it is oncoming. You'll find this next, as you all arrive one by one. Wade, Clyde, Cheryl, and Ivy, you will end up noticing that all of these license plates seem to be coming from out of town. Seattle license plates. And as you all arrive, you end up seeing Damocles in his stern, stoic expression. Tonight will be a gathering. We shall end up heading to Elysium proper. But if I am to end up presenting the four of you under my tutelage, this, he gestures to Wade, gestures to Ivy, who I imagine is maybe a little bit better dressed, but not by much, and then Clyde, who, well, let's just say that Damocles is not as well suited to your apparel for some reason or another. Maybe it's that old sense he has. So, Wade, you have appropriated the proper attire for your mission, then. Fantastic. Have it loaded up in here, Vent, and ready to go, I'm sure?
Got a nice to-go bag. I got one for everybody.
Fantastic. Did you end up
Just
getting
in
everybody's
case.
size?
Close enough. I averaged it out.
You hear a voice from behind one of the vents. No, 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 this will not do. This will not do. You do not end up just averaging it out. You see this very slender, tall man who speaks in this very illustrious French accent, who ends up coming around. Oh, God. Philippe. No, 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 it is all right, Monsieur. Myers sent his regards and considers the trade in full. You ended up asking for expertise to end up making them presentable for tonight's festivities, oui?
These were for the Elysium party.
I see. Yes, quick to catch up, no? Everyone, set up. He claps his hands in a very dainty way as suddenly you end up seeing almost this paramilitary style opening of vans, people pouring out, pulling out all of these standing change rooms in front of you as Garçon starts to end up coming up to you and starts gaining your personal space, starting to end up taking measurements. This one is a 36. Get out the 36s. You end up seeing racks of clothes being pulled out of the back of these vans. It is an absolute swarm, a cacophony. Yeah, Mademoiselle, please, we have a chair to sit for you. What is her name? Her name is Cheryl. That's Ivy. That's Clyde. That is good enough. We can end up working with that. Come, easy. And I'm gonna ask, who here is at hunger 4 or above?
Not today, my friend.
Everybody's clear?
Thankfully, below.
Lot of mortals hanging around. Let us hope that nothing untoward were to happen. You all see this hustle and bustle in a way that is very, very strange. You end up seeing the whole, all of these individuals, many of them are armed, strangely enough, but for the most part, they seem to be going about bringing out dresses and tailored suits, remeasuring each and every one of you, Not one of them seems to respect your personal space.
There would be definitely one or more that got some kind of intimidating look or bodily motion from Wade about.
Make me a charisma intimidation check.
Oh, pleasureful. Manipulation and intimidation?
That would be correct. Many of them aren't accustomed to dealing with the Nosferatu variety.
I would say it would be one success.
You try to end up staring down one of them, and one of them flinches, and at that point, Francois ends up looking, realizing that somebody is hesitating, and he seems more offended that somebody is not doing their job in this very militaristic, quick manner. Grabs hold of the measuring tape, starts swatting this guy over top of the head. No, we do not end up doing this. We do not have time to do this. Monsieur Wade, I would hate to end up asking this, but please hold still. He is like pressing this tape right up against your leg. He is going through the whole thing, and he is just, you hear him murmuring numbers after numbers after numbers. You're trying to end up staring him down, and he is
My
doing suddenly
eyes don't
snaps.
leave him during the entire process.
Yeah, and his eyes snap to you when you start giving him that same stink eye. And for maybe a brief moment, suddenly this Frenchman you are convinced will eat you alive. You are 100% sure he's mortal, and that's not going to stop him from trying if you interrupt anything he is doing.
Keeping the suit, Francois.
And it is already bought and paid for, Monsieur Wade. It is about perfection. And everybody's being sit in chairs, makeup being done in record time. It is an absolute cacophony. For brief moments, you may feel even like movie stars, despite the fact you were sitting inside of a goddamn warehouse. However, when you enter into Elysium, you will have never felt better. Because quite literally, each one of you is worth $1 million at this exact time. For those who may have struggled along, may never have had the feeling of a truly worn, well-pressed suit, or an appropriate cocktail dress made for movie stars. But here, you get to end up feeling it. All it cost was feeling a little bit violated with a tape measure and a very energetic Frenchman. But this seems a little over the top. Is there anything anybody wants to try and sneak in or anything during this particular portion?
Not particularly. Clyde is eating up. Just eating this up. Feels good. He looks good. And, he puts his arm out actually for Ivy of all folks. May I escort you in, dollars?
Of course. And she'll take his arm. At first she was a little unsure about everything, but she's warmed up to it.
I'm fine as long as I get back my jacket, but tonight, I think I'm looking pretty good. How about you? You feel good?
Starting to. Never been one for this fancy of clothing, but
Yeah,
I kind of
but
like this.
you make it look nice.
And what
And
must
then-
be... Oh, go ahead.
No, you're good.
What must be the most awkward contradiction in your own lives up to this point is that you are all dressed to the nines. It's the best of fashions that money can buy. The perfect makeup with the accents, even going so far as to use that little bit of airbrush. To end up knowing that these shears have ended up making your undead complexion almost lifelike without blush of life. But as you end up beginning to drive, you will be escorted to Elysium by these black vehicles all in a row, as though it was a presidential rollout. All surrounding this horrible fucking van that Wade happened to bring. Guarding it as though it were holding the Pope itself. You'll find all of your clothes and what have you still organized within the van as proper. And the professionalism you end up seeing men with earpieces in and shades and well-done suits. You know that Damocles is apparently in one of these vehicles, no doubt having to deal with Francois for a brief moment in time, which might be a reprieve for you all, given the fact that you might be getting sick of his consistent barking orders and making you behave like animals to end up going through this regimented process. But now is the time of graduation. The perfumes are beautiful, the cologne is subtle yet delicate, and the suits of finer silks and even cufflinks of gold. Quite literally, when I say you're $1 million, that's what you're wearing. And you know it, and you're gonna feel it. And I believe that is the escort to Elysium.
The caravan pulls up outside of the West Side Market. And, well, not exactly in front of it. It is certainly closed at this hour. And, there's another building you must go to first beside it. One that, while the West Side Market itself is old, it was built in 1912. That's a little too obvious. You need to go the less obvious route. You have spent the past 3 nights training under Damocles, having yourselves tested physically, mentally, coming to terms with your new limits. In fact, to the point, Clyde, where you cut yourself open to retrieve the prize. And on this night, you were asked to make sure that you were fed and that you were ready. And apparently, you were made more ready. You will depart the caravan, leaving the vans behind. And you pop into a smaller building beside the West Side Market. It's storage. Now, you all have been to Elysium before, as you each have had to have been presented after being a newly minted vampire, but not having any particular voice in court or dealings with those who collect here. This might be your first real visit, or a visit beyond the necessary, when you weren't just a nervous, shaking wreck, or something, whatever you were in those early nights. The vans drive off, and you're left behind. Damocles is here as well, and tells you that you're going to meet the Keeper. And as well, while you're here, there is a little extra business that he must do, because tonight is your night to board the Moreni. And Clyde, I'm sorry to dampen your mood, but it did start to rain tonight. Lightly.
Oh, damn.
Enough to start beating on the glass and making the roads rather slick. I mean, not super slick, but, you know, good for photography slick. And so as you pour out in your custom-fitted tuxes and you are dropped off at a storage area, there's a woman there that it's more the case that she knows you, not so or that you know her, not so much that she knows you. But this is the keeper of Elysium. Her name is Charity. And well, you all arrived in good order. She's looking you all up and down. Interesting. I must ask, before you go further, that you do not bring harm into this place. I have worked a very long time to make it very nice, and with the exception of that fire about 10 years ago, and the source of that problem was dealt with very quickly, Elysium has always been a safe place, a sanctuary. And from what I understand, it is going to be a staging point for you. Now, before I take you further inside, do you have any questions or confessions to make before we're inside Elysium proper and my duties, which can even, arguably, she says at the side of her mouth, surpass those of the sheriff or the prince? Take over?
I sure do have a question. You look good. Honest opinions.
You are presentable.
Ah, she likes us.
Has Madame Dulac already arrived?
No, I wasn't expecting Madame Dulac.
This is Elysium, isn't it?
Yes,
Does she not make appearances?
she does.
But
During
not
court.
tonight.
Were you led to believe that court was in session?
No, I was just asking a question. Maybe I'd bump into her.
I see. No, Madame Dulac is not here tonight. There are only a few passers through, I suppose. There's nothing necessarily official, though I'm definitely noting your appearances. Very well. If you have nothing to turn over to this box of safe storage for items that you may have forgotten, then you can follow me. Last chance.
Wade immediately starts to pat himself down, produce little pocket knives, credit card knives, little shivs and sticks, and his favorite expandable baton. Goes through a show of it and just finally puts something last in the basket. Looks like maybe a beer topper, but he considers it a weapon. Sorry. I get in a haste sometimes and keep forgetting myself.
It happens to everyone. That's why I offer this chance.
But they took my clothes.
I'm sure you'll
Got more
receive them
pockets.
back again. And if you're... I have an inquiry as to, things, but that is none of your concern. Anyway, If none of the rest of you have things you've forgotten,
I have one thing as a point of order. Before meeting up, before doing any of this stuff, Clyde would have delved into his herd so that he's back down to hunger 1.
okay. You all would have been you all would have been expected to arrive full.
Perfect. Done. Thank you.
She's very generous of you, sir.
It is simple part of a boon, one that I'm glad to be rid of at this point.
Now, follow me, and I'll take you into Elysium proper. And I suppose you're going to wait here until you receive further instructions. So make yourself at home. For as long as you have it, anyway. And she takes you through a rather simple tunnel. Until you all are inside the marketplace. Now, of course, there's no people here. It is lit. It does look very grand. Considering it's over a century old, it might have a certain aesthetic appeal. I believe, Damocles, there was something that you needed to tend to. I can give you an escort. Why don't we leave them here? And she escorts Damocles out. While you're inside, are you saying or doing anything in particular?
Oh, Wade immediately starts peeking in the shadows, looking for those who are dipping in and out, looking to identify anyone of his own kind, if possible.
All right, sure. Yeah, you can start looking around. Wade, anyone else? Are you just lingering?
Me? No.
No, I know you're not. For the other three.
I ain't exactly got any other plans. No. For the most part, of course, I'm just spending my time talking to the ladies, especially Cherry over here. I'm making jokes, passing it along.
Carol
Yo.
walks away.
Wait, where you go? Oh, I'm supposed to be. Come on, we're a crew.
I'm trying. I keep telling you she's a little uptight. And you gotta keep trying.
I am gonna keep trying. I hate watching you leave, but I love watching you go.
All right, well. It seems you three are busying yourselves. Wade, I guess you're poking around here. Now, obviously, this is not some grand ballroom. There's food stands, and if anything, like this is certainly a protected area. Interesting that it's full of groceries. Any of you are welcome to look upon what is sold here and realize that it wasn't that long ago that you may have even shopped here. Or at least, this is what you used to eat. But now you're surrounded by things that are supposed to taste good, if you can still remember it, but won't and can't. maybe some of the fresh meats might raise an eyebrow, but, well, you all might have gone through your experimental phases pretty quickly.
Cheryl actually can eat food, and often does so during work hours. So she actually might walk by something that sells like snacks or whatever and purchase something to take to work.
Sure. You approach.
Wade will
You approach a
clumsily
vending
make his
machine.
way through the beef section and find a quart of cow's blood, which shouldn't be too hard to find.
And what?
Oh, just like the beef section, just buying a quart jug of like just beef blood, whether it's coagulated or not, makes no difference. Yeah, a lot of people will use it for making like black pudding or something, but Wade uses it for entirely something else.
All right. Well, the market's closed. There's no one here except you all.
Oh, well, then he just takes it.
Okay.
Tries to find a pocket for it to fit in his penguin suit. And if unsuccessful, we'll look around and take a thank you for shopping bag. And leave a $5 bill on where it was.
Cheryl, as you approach a vending machine, and you are retrieving your snack from it, a man walks up behind you. Oh, good choice.
Cheryl doesn't talk to strangers, basically, so she doesn't really say anything. She just puts it into her handbag or whatever she has on her currently.
Mm-hmm. I was beginning to think that I was going to be the only one here tonight. Are you just passing through as well?
Unfortunately, I'm babysitting some. I would call them adults, but they don't act like it, so.
If it helps, I understand what you mean. Though I would hope that none of them would be so brazen as to violate this place. Not much to babysit, I'd imagine. Otherwise, Charity would be an efficient enforcer. Well, anyway. The name's Eli. It's nice to meet you. He holds his hand out.
Here you go. She'll shake his hand.
Wade close enough to hear any of this?
No, you are burgling blood currently.
I did not burgle. I left money behind.
I know, but that doesn't have the same consonants to say.
You're a burglar. Go and burgle something.
I presume you're from here then? Local?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You are certainly dressed for an occasion. I didn't expect there to be court in session. Or is there a different reason why you're so immaculate? Am I underdressed?
Possibly. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the whole details of what we're doing. So many people tend to just do things without providing useful information.
Esty, I have a very important question.
Yes?
Upon seeing this guy approach, Cheryl, can Clyde have activated heightened senses and have heard this?
You are currently speaking with Ivy, so not at the moment.
All right.
But as none of you needed to go get a snack, then Cheryl here is the one who's being encountered by a vending machine off in the corner. Well, I guess I'm glad I'm not missing anything. As, I suppose, a thank you for providing me some kind of entertainment. Is there anything that I can provide you? I was prepared to wander around for a while until guided elsewhere. This is a bit of a holding area, I suppose.
I am not in need of anything but thank you.
Are you sure there's no assistance I can provide for anything you have upcoming? Knowledge? Information? Or... You know, I'm a bit of a charmer myself, and I might be able to just give you some good luck to take with you on whatever road you go from here. Or do you not believe in that kind of a thing?
I don't know if there's any relevant information you would have.
Well, I'll say this. I have a bit of a thirst, but I don't quite have the ability to... Well, I'm waiting on my opportunity to feed. Else why would I be here, right? But if there is a bit of nourishment that I could take, I would be very happy to give you a boon in reward. I don't suppose you have a bit of extra vitae I might have? Not even all for me.
Unfortunately, I'm not inclined. So, I have to go back to my cats.
Enjoy the cats. And what are you doing? This is, slightly later. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the same building, which isn't, in the grand scheme of things, all that far apart.
He kind of approaches Wade then.
Yeah, you're reaching into your pocket for a $5, and there's a man's voice behind you asking, "What are you doing?"
Getting a snack. What's it look like? It says $4.99. There's a $5 bill weight tax. Hold on.
I would
Flips
advise
out a
against
quarter.
that, sir. That wouldn't be proper etiquette here.
Were we not told to make ourselves comfortable?
You are to be comfortable, yes. I won't stop you from this, but you're manipulating the things that the mortals need. Whether you leave a 5 or not, it's still gone. You're leaving a bit of a complication for charity.
For charity?
Yes, the Keeper.
Oh, that charity. Oh, right. This is her place. He didn't say we could just go crazy, but said make sure we're not hungry or something, right, before we go in.
I don't know if she told you that. She would
I
just
don't
make
either.
sure
I
that you
wasn't
don't
paying
do
much
anything
attention.
while you are hungry.
He pulls a sleight of hand, putting the quart down and picking up the 5 1/4 and pocketing the 5 1/4.
Are
When
you
in
from
Rome, do as Rome.
Are you from here as well? Or are you also just passing through? Are you waiting to introduce yourself?
I was passing through some time ago and decided to stick around.
Oh. Well, kindred spirits, am I right? That's a joke, because, you know.
Yeah. Kindred spirits. Got it.
I presume with how fascinating you look that you're with the party with Cheryl, I believe her name was.
Yeah. I'm with Cheryl, Ivy, and Clyde.
Oh, two others as well. Oh, I'll make sure to try and find them. It's
He looks like he just kind of looks over the top of the racks, just like
it's a
just
pleasure,
points to Clyde and Ivy.
Eli. It's nice to make your acquaintance.
Eli, what do you do here? Besides wait.
I wait. Though I also apparently have a penchant for talking with people and finding out more about them. I'm a bit of a traveler, a roamer. I go from here and there, and, well, I'm here.
Roman, eh? And he kind of gives the non-point towards Clyde and Ivy and starts kind of guiding him in that direction.
Oh, are you walking over there?
Yeah, I'm like taking him over there. Like, sure, I'll introduce you.
All right, Clyde and Ivy. Cheryl has gone back to you all. I don't know, Cheryl, are you bringing up your encounter by the vending machine?
I guess if one of them asks what's up, she'll just nonchalantly be like, "Yeah, there was some person over there."
Well, some person seems to be approaching and following behind Wade.
Oh god.
Looks like Wade found
Oh.
a friend.
And you must be Clyde and Ivy, yes?
Yeah, Ivy. I gotta. Oh, and as watching Cheryl as she walks up, I might have forgotten over the last few days to kind of say I was sorry for hitting you with the van. Wasn't personal.
And I see you two are also matching the others. I must be missing out on something.
What's wrong with just having a night out in the town?
We like to have a good time, work hard, play hard.
Nothing. Every night is a night to celebrate and enjoy. It's one more night of existing.
Exactly.
Well, for this encounter, I don't know how much longer I'll be here waiting, or even you. You were brought in, I imagine you'll be brought out, and at some point in time, I'll be fetched as well.
Well, this guy's name is Eli. I think one of y'all, well, he didn't say so, but this is Eli. He's from the other side of the waiting room.
Yes, approximately over there, and formerly the vending machine. As
Right.
Cheryl here can attest. I'm a traveler, an out-of-towner. Someone who likes looking for stories, and, well, hey, I found one here. It's nice to have some kind of entertainment. This has been rather dull. I'm the only other one that's been
story?
here tonight.
Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's gonna keep being dull. We're gonna have to be heading in soon, so.
Oh. Well, I don't
Fine.
suppose then I can give you a token of my thanks?
Can I insight check this guy?
Sure, go ahead.
I want to know what he's up to. Be wits insight, I think.
Yep.
I would help, but I have no dots in insight.
Cheryl, do you have insight, and would you like to assist?
I have 1 die of insight.
Would you like to assist?
Sure.
Wait, do you have insight?
No.
Wow.
He's very street aware and is definitely got the awareness covered, but insight, nah, he's a little more impulsive than that.
That's 3 success.
He's chatty. A bit of an accent might put him as an out-of-towner for sure. Maybe something a little closer eastern seaboard, maybe? And he seems to be earnestly happy that there's other people that he can talk to. He's not trying to be weird about things. I mean, any more than any other kindred might be. But yeah, he's coming across as an earnest out-of-towner, as a traveler. He's dressed for that occasion. His slight accent would put him as a slight out-of-towner. The thing is, well, if it's something that any of you are willing to part with, I would like something to eat as well, but I don't have feeding permission yet here in the city. And, well, if you all are as full as you say that you are, maybe... but a drop would help to take a little bit of the thirst away. I've traveled for a while, and hey, in return, I'd be happy to do something for you in return. I've picked up a couple tricks in my nights, and, well, if you all are going to be departing soon, I believe one of you said, then, maybe I can give you a parting gift. Hold on a moment. For consideration, I wouldn't just ask you to gift a part of yourself for nothing. He rummages around, and in his traveling duster, he pulls out what looks like it looks like a very basic paper doll, humanoid head, 2 arms, 2 legs, and a body. And it seems to be it seems to be a white piece of paper, but there's a little heart that's red. In fact, if you don't trust me with it, and you're looking for some entertainment, you could even just bite your finger and place it on the heart. I'll give you a parting gift, a charm, if you will, a little bit of aid along the way. Would you like to make this?
Who's your little friend, Eli?
Hmm?
Who's your little friend?
Oh, this? He holds up the little paper.
Yeah.
You know, I've never had anyone ask me that before. Let's call her Trixie, then.
Mind if I have a look-see at Trixie?
Of course. Here you go. I'd love to see her red, but I would need your help for that. You don't have to, of course.
You're already really fucking weird, and then you come up to us handling the sweet liquor. Yeah, no. Good luck to whatever you got going on, Eli. I got other fish to fry. And Klein is just gonna get up and leave. He's not a part of this.
A fang and smears his blood all over the nice little red seal and hands it back to Eli.
Okay. While a small puncture, you gain 1 hunger. And the entirety of the paper turns to a light red, otherwise known as pink in some circles. Ah, well, Wade. Red to seal the deal, it would seem.
Never say favors haven't been done around here.
Ah. Clyde, as you're piecing out from this location after kind of getting squigged out, you very do clearly hear him say "Red to seal the deal."
Pride stops at that point.
The offer's open to the rest of you. It might make you a bit more thirsty along the way. I don't know how precious your thirst is for tonight's ballroom gala, but
Maybe they got refreshments.
it's a fun trick I picked up, a way to help you out. And thank you for entertaining me tonight.
Oh, hell.
It's a little strange. Come on, don't you wish to unlive a little? Not that you
Ivy's
must.
going to pluck a finger on her fang and put her own blood on it.
Oh, brave of you. Well, I suppose we're not
Now
strangers. I
see
introduced
why
myself
Clyde
as
and
Eli.
Ivy, you got a little bit of spark.
Gain 1 hunger, Ivy. And this paper person grows a little redder.
Elbows Clyde just a little bit.
Upon his return, he just grabs the doll. He's given like Eli the stink eye. This ends up being so fucking weird. I swear to God.
What changed your mind, Clyde, if it has changed? You came back.
Nothing.
Oh, nothing at all.
Nothing changed my mind. I just do whatever the hell I want. He's just gonna prick his finger at that point and bleed onto it.
Whoa,
More
all right.
like can't let Wade one-upping.
I'm
Yeah,
not
that's it. That's
I'm
it.
not forcing you to do this if you're doing it by your own accord.
Wade understands Clyde perfectly. It's about the challenge.
And the paper grows a darker shade of red.
Can you guys
Cheryl,
stop
I don't
acting like
suppose
cats
you
for
are going to
one
give in
minute?
to peer pressure as well?
No.
Cheryl, it might be important. Do you not remember Clyde's message to us?
What was Clyde's message to you?
Nothing you need to worry about.
Oh, and I'm the mysterious one.
Excuse me, ST, none of your damn business.
Feel like you guys are jumping to a conclusion.
Look, if I'm wrong about this, you can just tell Dad and he'll be all over my ass. I'm sure you'd love to see that.
I don't know what you mean by that. But no, I will not be doing this. It is pointless.
Leave it to the blue bud, can't even squeeze a drop. Good looking for the team, teammate.
This is nothing that I would even compel if I could. If you don't wish to do it, you don't wish to do it. Then I would ask that the three of you stand here. Cheryl, you're welcome to stand back a little bit. We're going to see a little bit of magic. I hope you're ready, everyone. A good luck charm to speed you on your way.
Clyde just is like leering at this guy and he's like mumbling to himself, I swear to God, I can't
Wade, grab the arm, please. Clyde, you as well. I'll hold the head, and Ivy, you have your choice of leg.
Oh, Wade totally grabs the right arm of this little paper doll.
Now here's the
I'm
trick.
gonna grab the left leg.
On 3, we're going to pull at the same time. And that's it.
This some cool origami shit gonna end with this being a chrysanthemum with a note on it? That'd be cool.
That would be cool. I'll have to try and incorporate that into it. But no, it won't be that. Are you ready? At the same time, everyone. 1, 2, 3, pull.
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 All right, Clyde. The red, blood-soaked paper arm detaches, and you're holding onto it. Clyde, same for you, and the one leg for you, Ivy. You're holding a slightly damp piece of paper. Eli is holding onto the head and the rest of the body. Well, I suppose that I got the lion's share here, but that's fine, because now you have a memento to remember me by. And if there's ever a time when you need a little bit of luck, I will repay you for the, he looks over to you, Cheryl, and almost bites into the head like you would bite a candy bar to keep appearances in front of the humans. And as he does, the paper loses its red color and returns back to white. Thank you.
Wade carefully tucks his little arm into an inside pocket jacket of this penguin suit.
I needed that. And, hey, what are friends for but mutual aid?
We've
That's
all
how
been
things go
there.
among us, yes?
Hunger's hunger. It sucks. And it never goes away.
This guy seems to know how it's like. But anyway, that was fun, yeah? Yeah. And you hear a ka-chung as the doors off to the side open up. Are you ready? And Eli shouts, "Anytime! I've been waiting!" "Not you," shouts Charity. "The rest of you."
Yeah, I think we're ready.
Turn to look.
What was that? I didn't hear you.
Oh, just turns to look and gives a little nod to Eli and then back to Charity. I guess taking steps to follow towards her.
Okay. Whoop, whoop, whoop. He holds up the white paper as a bit of a cheer to you all. Good luck at the ball. Or whatever it is you're doing.
Clyde does not respond. Instead, he's just going to kind of whisper to the rest of the coterie, "What the fuck was that?"
I'd like to know myself.
You guys just indulged.
Collecting favors.
I was gonna say you indulged an idiot, but
We're about to
Yeah,
meet a
that's good.
harpy. Good to have something to tell the guy who keeps all the secrets.
Well, you gotta have some fun once in a while.
You're led back through a tunnel and another one to a different building attached to this very grand area that, by the light of day, is filled with all kinds of food for you and for them. But now it was just the 5 of you, now 6, with Charity present. And you go back down. You go back down as you leave Eli behind. Back in the original entryway, which is a lot more nondescript. There's a room inside which might have been, or might still be at times, a place of storage. And there's some more practical clothes that are waiting for you, as well as Damocles, who tells you that it's time. He checked on the small ship that is available, and you need to go because the Moreni is already taken off. And so, you're expected to change out of your $1 million suits, because it is in fact go time.
Okay. All right.
What was the point of this? Yeah.
Make us feel like $1,000,000 before the end of it all?
She just writes in her note, meeting could have been an email.
Wade, you are given your plethora of oopsies back, and they're all accounted for. In fact, they've all been laid out very nicely in a tray.
Oh, fantastic. Without batting an eye, and not really, if it's just us standing around and we need to get changed, he does exactly that. There is no shame, no dollar to him. He just strips down out of this suit, gets one of the
God,
whatever's
why?
been offered to change into, whether it's like tactical gear, or if it's just some of the ship's maintenance uniforms or whatever it is, and just jumps into it going, let's go, come on, we got shit to do, don't we? Look at the pretty clothes later, and he tucks the suit inside of the overalls.
Oh God!
The suit
Why
stays.
would you do that?
Your original clothes have been returned to you. And in exchange, I'm collecting everything, along with the accounting for what needs to be there.
I thought you said it was a gift of a suit.
To wear and be presented.
Well, damn. And he literally just does an over-the-shoulder slam with the lump of fabric and starts pocketing his stuff.
Thank you for your cooperation.
You said it was a gift.
Oh,
Hell of a gift.
calm down, Wade. Not like that suit made you look any better anyway.
Know, Wade,
No, I
that
don't
you
know. I
are
don't know
welcome
after
here any time that you might find yourself in trouble.
Great.
I see. Well then, have it pressed and ready for my next time I come around.
She stares unblinkingly. The clothes will be handled as they must. I leave you to Damocles, as your business here apparently is finished, from what I understand of things. You have a job to do, and I'm not going to be in your way. But if you do need anything that I can provide you... She just kind of spreads her hands out. Now, granted, you're in a bit more of just a big, like, empty pantry storage area. Elysium is here for all, no matter how strange, young or old, as long as you can conduct yourselves appropriately. Damocles urges you all to change because you need to go now, and the instructions might have shifted. You're going to have to listen on the way. And you change.
He turns on a heel, running or moving towards Damocles, waving over his head. Thanks for the hospitality, Charity. I'm sure we'll be back sometime.
Now, changing back to the clothes you had originally worn for that evening. You begin you begin the drive to the dock where your ship has been procured. It is now not just a light rain that would mist up the windows, but a heavier rain. A big summer rain in Cleveland.
I'll see Emily there. Clyde is very much like way more drawn into himself. He actually looks nervous. Like every time there's a car light that passes by, he's like, "Oh, what? That's the road. That's the road. Oh no, hold on! Don't brake too fast." He's just like very discomforted and very like trying to give the backseat driver instructions.
You okay?
It's I'm fine.
You don't act fine.
It's nothing. Nothing big. Just see a flash of lightning. He's like, fuck.
She's gonna hold her hand out for him to take. Like, look, if you're nervous here,
It's not nervousness. It's just it's a personal thing. Yeah.
As Clyde is talking with you, holding your hand, for a moment, Ivy, Clyde is your father. He has a right to be nervous, Ivy.
she's squeezing her eyes shut. Like, you're not there. That's not you. Leave me alone.
Clyde?
Yeah, no problem.
Not you, the
And banging
hard to explain.
banging against a boat launch is a small boat with one outboard motor. There are no identifying stickers or numbers. There's not even a cutesy name somewhere on the ship. The 5 of you would be lucky to be able to all squish underneath the small like bimini over the little pilot area. There are some seats available, but this is probably going to be rough as you are in a small, unidentified vessel. And it is here, as you're loading in, most likely soaking wet. We're going to take a quick break. Unfortunately, I have biological processes that the undead don't. So, at least for my behalf, we're going to get up and take 10. And when we come back, our vampires are going to be in hot pursuit for the lake ship Maureni to find a not ore. Be right back, everyone.
Fucking ore.